Well, here's an industry where poor people are harassing other poor people for the benefit of rich people. And actually, I came across an article in the paper the other day. It's actually a review of a book that's going to be out soon called Bad Paper. And these writers went out and really they found this guy who's starting a business on bill collecting. And one guy is a former banker, the other is a former armed robber. And so they did an investigation of the bill collection industry because it's a booming business. And that's why I guess these people got into it. I mean, there's one company in the last 5 or 6 years doubled from a 300 million to almost 800 million, almost $1 billion business. And that's from during the recession, of course, from 2009 to 2013. So they're growing so fast. And how he explains it is there like 77 million people that are in debt collection. That's 77. That's a third of all the people who have a credit report are in debt collection. So that means these people who owe, who lend somebody money can't pay it anymore. What they do now, they don't bother trying to collect. They almost give these debts to these companies like this armed robber guy and the ex-banker to just get whatever they can for themselves, and they sell it to these people for pennies. Pennies on the dollar. So they go out and they hire people, and there's like almost 400,000 bill collectors, 367,000 bill collectors. That's getting close to 500,000 bill collectors in this country, chasing these 77 million people. And they're all low income. They're making, like, the average person makes $16 an hour or something, and some maybe even nowhere near that because they're working on commission. So we have these people calling you who are, it's not their debt. Even the company that works for them, it's not their debt. So they're not personally involved in any of this stuff. So they have to figure out a way to con you to making some money, whether it's by guilt, by fear, by anything. And the stories that they go along with this are really cool. And the FTC now in this time has really just blossomed with complaints about bad bill collectors, and they're just not following the rules and things like that. This is why. I mean, nobody regulates them to speak of. I mean, there's so many small businesses. If somebody comes after them, they just close up and go across the street and start another business. But 77 million people. And actually, we've done there's a video on YouTube/Matthew Lesko 70. We have a video on the rules on bill collectors have to follow. And they're not going to follow. I mean, you read the stories of it. They have like ex-felons and people, drug addicts calling and just trying to make money. So they have to beat on you hard so they can get paid. So they're going to stretch it, as much as they can. But you can get $1,000 back if you know the rules that the Federal Trade Commission puts out, that regulates these people. In other words, like, you get $1,000 from these people if they call you before 8 o'clock or after 9, 8 o'clock in the morning after 9. Or if they call you at work and you told them you can't take calls at work. Or if you send them a letter to stop calling and they still call you. That's all. They broke the law and they get money. So there's dozens of things. There's about a dozen things, and they can't even contact you by a postcard. They can't use profanity. They can't threaten violence. They can't harass you on the phone or annoy you, which they're doing. So if you know the rules, and actually, thinking about it, reading this, saying, God, these people don't have they're not like, you borrowed from me and I'm going to get you because this is a moral thing. Nah, it's just they paid almost nothing to get your name, and once they had it, they get all the money they can get, from you. So they're just going to beat on you, and taking you to court would be too much money, I would think, for them to ever do. So it's a big growth area of our economy that's growing. If people are doubling in business, these are big, $500 million companies, being made in this thing, and people that are doing the actual calling are low income or just middle income people struggling. So they're going to beat on you as hard as they can. Yeah. So know the rules, know the facts, look at that video, or go to ftc.gov and look up the rules for debt collectors.